All right. Well, thank you, Chris, and thank you, everyone, for coming here. My name is Paul Connor. I work for the D.C. Department of the Environment, and today I'm sitting in for my boss, Christophe Toulouse. Christophe is the acting director for the Department of the Environment. He was looking forward to being here today. I met with him about this yesterday. He was excited to come here today. He was looking forward to meeting all of you. But he was called away literally at the last minute for an emergency meeting. So the benefit of that is I get to come today, and I am also thrilled to be here. I have been looking forward to this as well, and I want to start by thanking Lisa and Chris Weiss and the DC Environmental Network for hosting this. It's truly exciting to be in a group like this and see so many people interested in the Anacostia. I think Christophe's original assignment was to just give an overview, and I think that we're kind of past that, but I think I will just step back for a second and kind of look at things from a slightly broader perspective. You know, everybody understands that the Anacostia has a lot of challenges, and that I think all of us share a mutual goal here. You know, our goal is to return the Anacostia and make it a fishable and swimmable river. And I think that all of us understand that that is going to take some time. It's a huge challenge. It's going to require the concerted efforts of many people and many organizations. Most of whom I think are here today. In the past, there were a lot of very talented people and a lot of organizations that were really focused on the water quality in the Anacostia River. And it was really just a couple of years ago that the DC Department of the Environment came out with a strategy that addressed primarily the water quality in the Anacostia River. And it's a very detailed strategy. It's a very good document that I think will govern our efforts in the years to come to address water quality, the quality of the water in the water column. The document recognized the need to focus on cleaning up the contaminated properties in the Anacostia. But I think that there was a sense that that was really kind of an ignored piece of the puzzle. I've heard from a number of people, not just the environmental community, that that was really a need that we needed to focus on. That there were a lot of contaminated properties in the lower Anacostia, and the efforts to address those had lagged behind the efforts to focus on water quality. And as I look back, though, over the efforts of the past few years, it's very encouraging to me and very exciting to see all of the work and the renewed focus on cleaning up contaminated property in the Anacostia. I think that there is a recent and renewed focus and energy that's being brought to the Anacostia. I see that from EPA, I see it from the Interior Department, I see it from environmental groups, although I'd say that the environmental groups have been the one consistent voice that the governments, all jurisdictions, really need to get serious about the Anacostia. So I am encouraged by the renewed interest and the renewed energy that is being brought to the river. There is a fair amount of site-specific work that is starting to reflect that renewed interest. We have a long way to go, and I don't want to suggest that we are much past the beginning of this effort, even though there's a lot of work that's already been done and there's a lot of work that's underway. But the Department of the Environment, in partnership with EPA, in partnership with Interior, and sometimes on our own, have entered into settlements at various sites up and down the Anacostia. So in the past few years, we've entered into two settlements with CSX, one for their rail car derailment, and a more recent one for releases of petroleum products into the Anacostia. There is a draft consent decree that is out for public comment at the Pepco Benning Yard facility. And we and Pepco are anxious to get going on that. The settlement calls for Pepco to initiate what we call an RIFS, a remedial investigation and feasibility study. This is what we would call really the final characterization of the site, what contaminants are at the property, at what concentrations, what is the risk posed by them. And Pepco, under this draft consent decree, will be looking at both the property that is the base of their operations, as well as the sediments, the footprint of their sediments in the river. You've heard about Washington Navy Yard for a long time. I don't plan to go into that in detail, other than to say that the Navy has been working on that property for a long time. The district and EPA are both involved in overseeing that work. The Navy has done a lot of work, especially for isolated pockets of soil removal at the property, and they are just now turning to some of the more difficult challenges there related to the sediments and the groundwater. Sean did an excellent job of summarizing the status of the 3 properties at which they are heavily involved.
Thanks, Dennis.
All right. I won't repeat what he said. Let's see. Let me just... and then I'll be relying, I think, on EPA to talk about the Southeast Federal Center and the work that has been going on there. Have you already spoken, Ron?
No, I haven't.
Okay, okay. So I don't want to steal your thunder. So I think I'll pause there. I'm hoping to have a chance to meet many of you after the remarks are made. I'm interested in seeing a robust Q&A here. Again, Christoph sends his greetings and his regrets, and I think I'll pause there and turn it over to EPA.